the guardian tower of the Temple of Light in Travancore. But this apparent victory is a double-edged sword. It plays right into Mephisto's hands. By being captured, he ensures his influence can corrupt the Zakarum Church from the inside, spreading his dark power even while imprisoned. The dark exile, rather than curbing Mephisto's threat, sets the stage for his deeper infiltration into the hearts and minds of humanity. Mephisto's imprisonment within the Soulstone ultimately proves to be a fleeting victory. Over centuries, his insidious presence seeps into the very heart of the Church. This once holy institution, the Zakarum, revered for its devotion to the light, gradually morphs into a dark puppet of the Lord of Hatred. In time, the first whispers of Mephisto's corruption begin to surface. Subtle at first, his malevolent influence grows, twisting the minds and morals of the Zakarum High Council. After 200 years, his control is nearly absolute. The priests now serve as his unwitting pawns, casting spells to weaken the Soulstone's grip on the Dark Master. One figure stands in Mephisto's way, Khalim, the highest-ranking priest of the Zakarum. Immune to Mephisto's corruption, Khalim becomes a thorn in his side. Unable to sway Khalim, Mephisto orchestrates a gruesome plot. Khalim is brutally assassinated, dismembered by his own corrupted brethren. In his place, Sankakor, a pliable and easily manipulated figure, rises to power, becoming both the new leader of the Zakarum and Mephisto's mortal vessel. With Sankakor as his host, Mephisto's influence spreads unchecked. The High Council, now fully under his control, creates the compelling orb, a sinister artifact that exerts dominance over the Zakarum faithful, silencing any hint of dissent. The Church, under the guise of piety, becomes a tool for Mephisto's dark schemes, its followers oblivious to the true nature of their leaders. As years pass, Mephisto consolidates his power, remaining hidden within the Church's sanctum. This concealment is crucial, preventing the forces of heaven and the uncorrupted mortals from detecting his presence. The High Council employs their power to keep Mephisto's lair and activities shrouded in secrecy, further entrenching his dominion. The moment to awaken another prime evil, Diablo, arrives. Mephisto dispatches his trusted servant Lazarus to the west, tasked with releasing Diablo from his slumber. Lazarus' actions set off the catastrophic events of Diablo 1, culminating in the awakening of the Lord of Terror. Mephisto's liberation from the Soulstone is a pivotal step. The corrupted Zakarum priests perform dark rituals, shattering the Soulstone into 7 shards and breaking the mystic seal that binds him. Free at last, Mephisto fully possesses Sankakor. In Diablo 4, you can visit the grave of Sankakor in Hawazar, now called the Black Tomb. There are also some cool tapestries that show Sankakor being possessed by Mephisto. Neat. After the events of Diablo 1, Diablo, now in the form of the Dark Wanderer, frees his brother Baal. Then they journey to the heart of the Zakarum Temple where Mephisto's Soulstone is kept. Together, they enter the temple's innermost chamber and release Mephisto from his prison. Mephisto, already possessing the body of Sankakor, assumes a grotesque form, reflecting his true demonic nature. After centuries apart, the prime evils are finally reunited in the mortal realm. In this dark reunion, Mephisto, Diablo, and Baal devise a final strategy to reclaim the burning hells and exact vengeance on those who overthrew them, the lesser evils, remember? Their plan also includes enslaving humanity, using the mortal realm as a battlefield and a source of power. Diablo crosses through the infernal gate into hell to rally the demonic forces still loyal to the prime evils. Baal sets off on a journey north to corrupt the World Stone, and Mephisto remains behind, focused on eliminating any threats to their grand plan. However, the prime evil's machinations do not go unchallenged. A group of mortal heroes, that's you by the way, determined to thwart their plans, arrive at the temple. These heroes confront Mephisto in his stronghold. The battle is fierce and prolonged, or depending on your gear, maybe very short. Despite Mephisto's efforts, the heroes prevail. They imprison his essence within the Soulstone once more, temporarily halting his malevolent influence. The heroes take the Soulstone to the Hellforge, a place of great power capable of destroying such artifacts, and shatter the Soulstone on the Hellforge, theoretically casting Mephisto's spirits into an unseen netherworld. This act is intended to permanently remove his threat from Sanctuary. Of course, that doesn't truly work. Even in death, the corruption left by Mephisto lingers. Sankakur's corpse, still tainted by Mephisto's deep-rooted influence, continues to seek malevolence. One of the heroes seals the body in a chamber in Hawazar, which you can still visit in Diablo 4, hoping to contain the residual corruption. This containment is necessary to prevent any lingering evil from spreading further, though the battle against Mephisto's influence is far from over. During the events of Diablo 3, Mephisto's essence becomes trapped within the Black Soulstone, a powerful artifact created by Adria to contain the souls of the great evils. Mephisto is the fourth and final great evil to be marked by Adria in her preparation for Diablo's return. When Adria locates his soul, Mephisto resists fiercely, displaying a rage that takes her by surprise. Several times, he nearly overcomes her, threatening to take control of her mind. However, Adria's careful preparations and safeguards allow her to succeed, marking Mephisto's essence and imprisoning him in the Black Soulstone. In a dark twist of fate, Mephisto's essence is briefly merged with Diablo's, creating a single, immensely powerful prime evil. This unification amplifies their strength, but also their vulnerability. A new hero arises, that's you by the way, and through a series of battles manages to defeat this combined entity. The defeat results in all the great evils being drawn back into the Black Soulstone, their tormented souls trapped once more and screaming for release. The balance of power shifts again when Malthael, the Angel of Death, seizes the Black Soulstone with his own plans in mind during the events of the Reaper of Souls. Malthael aims to harness the power of the great evils for his own ends, but his actions lead to the stone's destruction. This act releases the essence of the prime evils, including Mephisto, back into the cosmos. After the destruction of the Soulstone, Mephisto's spirit manages to separate from Diablo and begins to reconstitute himself. While a significant portion of his essence returns to the burning hell, a sliver of power remains in Sanctuary. This sliver takes on the form of a bloodied wolf, a spectral entity that continues to influence and observe the mortal realm. In the burning hells, Mephisto regains a partial foothold. His return is not complete, but he begins to rebuild his strength and influence amongst the demonic legions. He bides his time, waiting for the next opportunity to exert his will over both Hell and Sanctuary. Even after his banishment back to Hell, Mephisto's influence lingers on Sanctuary. This dark presence manifests, as I've mentioned, in the Bloodied Wolf. It's the spectral entity that embodies a fragment of Mephisto. Mephisto's lingering malevolence leads to the creation of the Fields of Hatred. These lands, corrupted by his demonic energy, infuse hatred into the hearts of men, causing them to turn against one another. The intense malice in these areas result in the eruption of crystallized demonic energy known as the Shards of Hatred. These fields become zones of chaos and conflict, further spreading Mephisto's influence and ensuring that hatred continues to fester amongst humanity. These are the PvP zones, by the way, that you encounter in Diablo 4, which explains why you fight amongst each other. Meanwhile, Elias, a former Horadrim, summons Lilith back into Sanctuary. Her return revitalizes the cult of the Triune, which once served the Prime Evils during the Sin War. And they still do worship the Prime Evils, but they also worship Lilith. The cult seeks to spread her influence and power through Sanctuary. As the wolf, Mephisto covertly follows the progress of a new hero, the Wanderer. That's you, by the way. A mortal with the potential to stand against Lilith. Unbeknownst to the Wanderer, Mephisto occasionally shields them from unseen dangers, recognizing their strength and potential to oppose his daughter. As Mephisto's essence begins to reform within his temple in the realm of hatred and the burning hells, Lilith becomes aware of his resurgence. she attempts to reach him before he fully reforms, intending to devour his essence and absorb his power. However, the Wanderer, guided by this wolf, seeks out Mephisto for assistance against Lilith. Or was it the bloodied wolf that sought assistance against Lilith? The Wanderer eventually arrives at a triune shrine dedicated to Mephisto, seeking his blessing to combat Lilith. At this shrine, the bloodied wolf reveals its true identity as Mephisto. He agrees to grant his blessing if the Wanderer agrees to destroy Lilith. From this point on, Mephisto aids the Wanderer openly, no longer needing to conceal his true nature. Mephisto forms an agreement with the Wanderer. He promises to lead them to his cathedral, where his essence is gathering ahead of Lilith. He pledges to help the Wanderer subdue Lilith once they free him. The plan involves sealing Lilith within a shard of the Worldstone. Sounds familiar, right? Which has been fashioned into a Soulstone. Mephisto agrees to keep the Soulstone, ensuring that Lilith does not return. After this, he promises again to return the Wanderer to Sanctuary and seal the gates of hell behind them, preventing further demonic incursions. The scene is set in Mephisto's cathedral in the realm of hatred, where his essence gathers power. Guided by Mephisto, disguised as the wolf, the Wanderer prepares to confront Lilith, believing they can finally end her menace. Joining the Wanderer is Nerel, armed with a new soulstone that can capture the essence of Lilith. Upon reaching the cathedral's inner sanctum, Nerel notices the runes on the bloodied wolf head, symbols of Mephisto. Wait a sec. She realizes their guide's true identity and she is horrified. She argues that Mephisto is a greater threat than Lilith, forcing the Wanderer into a dilemma, ultimately leaving the decision to Nerel because I didn't choose nothing. Inside the cathedral, Mephisto's essence appears as a giant floating sphere of blood, with his demonic face flickering within. He attempts to convince Nerel to follow through with their plan, but she resists, recognizing his deceit. With steely resolve, Nerel plunges the new soulstone into Mephisto's heart, trapping him within. In doing so, she absorbs some of his essence, tainting herself. With Mephisto imprisoned, the Wanderer confronts Lilith. The battle is intense, but they manage to destroy her. While Sanctuary is spared from immediate danger, the repercussions of their actions are profound. Nerel is now tainted by Mephisto's essence, but she still vows to find a way to destroy the prime evils before succumbing to the corruption. Nerel embarks on a perilous journey across Sanctuary, seeking a way to eradicate Mephisto's essence within the Soulstone. Her quest is fraught with danger, as the Soulstone's presence brings chaos and destruction. Mephisto's lingering influence causes turmoil, complicating her mission and endangering those around her. According to the Book of Lorath, Nerel's travels take her to various places in Sanctuary, including the Floating Sky Monastery in the Tomoe Mountains. The monks, sensing the dark power within her, help her as best they can to contain the evil within the stone. But her last known location in the book is near that monastery, her ultimate fate uncertain. Now, thanks to the reveal trailer of the first DLC for Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred, we know that her quest leads her to Tahantu, a wild and treacherous region south of Kyrgyzstan. As Nerel navigates this new land, the presence of Mephisto's essence within the Soulstone grows stronger, slowly but surely breaking down those barriers. The future remains uncertain as Nerel continues her quest. The chaos and destruction trailing her path underscores the ongoing threat posed by Mephisto. Even sealed in the Soulstone, he's a badass. His power remains a force of corruption, impacting everyone and everything around Nerel. And so, you now know the story of Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred himself. What we now have to think about are questions. Will he make it out of the Soulstone? Probably. Will Nerel survive? Probably not. And where do we fit into this story? In any case, I think Mephisto is a very cool character, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you appreciate my work, you can like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.